Hi, I'm Eric Kelly from KellyPlanet.com. This is a close look at Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 4, Episode 12, The Wounded.
We're on a mapping survey near the Cardassian sector. It has been nearly a year since a peace treaty ended the long conflict between the Federation and Cardassia.
We've never heard of the Cardassians before, but apparently they don't get along with the Federation. Of course, these guys will be a big part of DS9 eventually. So the Enterprise is on the Cardassian border, and Picard says that the last time he was here was with the Stargazer, and he was running from a Cardassian warship. Troy's like, yeah, that doesn't sound like you.
The Cardassians have no honor. I do not trust them.
They're our allies now, Mr. Worf. We have to trust them.
Trust is earned, not given away.
I agree with Worf. Hey, there's our newlyweds, Miles and Keiko, and she is feeding him seaweed or something for breakfast. He's like, yeah, how about I make us food like my mom used to make? And Keiko's like, your mom cooked and handled real meat? Ugh, that's gross. But Miles says, oh yeah, my mom is awesome, but I'm going to have to use the replicator.
I'll make something special for you tonight. You'll love it, I promise.
Maybe I'll have something special for you tonight, too.
Something's wrong.
Red alert. Take emergency stations.
The Cardassians are shooting at the Enterprise, but not causing much damage. That's probably a Galler-class ship, because the Keldon-class aren't a thing yet. Anyway, it's time to shoot back, so they do, and now we get to hail the Cardassians.
I am Galma Set, of the Cardassian ship Traeger.
Why have you fired on us?
Curious question, Captain. In war, one attacks one's enemies.
Yeah, that's Mark Alimo, and this is the first time we see a Cardassian ever. Picard's like, what? We have a treaty. And Masset says, yeah, well, tell that to the Federation ship that blew up our unarmed research station. Well, holy crap. Picard says, let me call Starfleet about this. Give me an hour. Otherwise, we'll have to start shooting again, and you will lose. So Masset's all like, okay, fine.
Captain, you've confirmed your report. It was the starship Phoenix, under the command of Benjamin Maxwell.
But he's one of Starfleet's finest captains.
So it's true. Admiral Guy said so. He wants the Enterprise to go into Cardassian space and hunt down Maxwell and the Phoenix. The Federation cannot afford another sustained conflict, and this is like the third time they used the word conflict instead of war, because Operation Desert Storm began like a week before the show aired, and that sounds a little better.
You must preserve the peace, no matter what the cost. Hayden out.
Picard is telling everyone that Gul Macet and some other Cardassian guys are coming aboard to observe the search for Maxwell, and Worf's like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But Picard says, well, they must feel like our guests. It's Troy's job to sense crew tensions to avoid any incidents, but she really doesn't do that, and that's exactly what happens. Data is asked if anyone among the crew have previously served with Captain Maxwell, and Data's like, oh, yeah, Chief O'Brien.
Welcome to the Enterprise. I'm First Officer William Riker. Counselor, Deanna Troi.
I am Golmaset. My aides, Glenn Darrow, Glenn Teller.
You'll notice these guys have weird headgear and facial hair, which we'll never see on Cardassians again. O'Brien is less than thrilled about all this, and Troy can tell, but she doesn't say anything.
We have entered Cardassian territory and are proceeding on our quest to locate the Phoenix.
And with long-range sensors, we've been scanning a radius of 10 light years.
We can effectively scan one sector a day.
The Chief tells us that Maxwell lost his family to a Cardassian attack on Setlik 3, so Macet's like, well, he's out for revenge. But O'Brien gets all defensive about this, so Picard steps in. But just then, Worf chimes in to say, hey, they found the Phoenix on long-range sensors. To the bridge. Oh, the other two Cardassian guys are in the turbo lift with O'Brien. This should be fun. They are actually trying to be nice and ask him about transporter stuff and even invite him for a drink.
If Captain Picard orders me to tell you everything I know about Ben Maxwell, I will. But who I choose to spend my free time with, that's my business.
Data says where the Phoenix has been located, and they're off at Warp 6. Gul Macet tells Picard, hey, we already have ships in that area. If you give us a transponder codes, we could take care of this a lot faster. Picard's like, no, I think we should try diplomacy first. Hey, look, O'Brien made his wife potato casserole in a wine-chilling bucket. And he has this old Irish song, which will be a thing later, here.
What's it about?
Oh, it's about war and glory. The minstrel boy to the war is gone. In the ranks of death you will find him.
This conversation's kind of weird. Miles says to his wife, I can tell some people on the ship aren't cool with the Cardassians being on board. Why do they feel like that? And she's like, well, I can see why. They were probably in combat, like you. But he's all like, no, I'm totally fine with Cardassians. And no, he's not. There's the Phoenix, and it's going after a Cardassian supply ship. Worf is hailing, and there's no answer. Hey, look, there are a bunch of other Cardassian ships in the area, and that could help.
Relay the prefix codes of the Phoenix to the Cardassian warship.
They will be able to dismantle its shields.
Cannot allow Maxwell to ambush that supply ship. Mr. Worf, now!
Why would they build a ship that can have its defenses shut off by remote control? I don't know. Doesn't really matter because Data's giving us a play-by-play, and the Phoenix blows up the Cardassian ship.
He has destroyed our warship.
Does the supply ship have any weapons?
Certainly not enough to defeat a Nebula-class starship.
Sir, the Phoenix is firing on the...
Gul Macet says that the combined crew loss is about 650, so Maxwell's body count is rising quickly. It will take the Enterprise 16 hours to reach the Phoenix at Warp 4, so Picard orders Warp 9. I used to do the math for all this, but not anymore. The captain goes to see the chief for his opinion on Maxwell, and O'Brien's like, well, yeah, he's a really great guy. There must be a reason he's out there, murdering hundreds of people. I bet the Cardassians are lying. You should be all over them, not Maxwell.
When one has been angry for a very long time, one gets used to it, and it becomes comfortable. And finally, becomes so familiar that one can't ever remember feeling any other way.
Hey, we're in 10 forward, and even though O'Brien was kind of a jerk earlier, the turbolift Cardassian guy tries again. He orders the Cardassian spirit Kanar, though he pronounces it Kanar. And this is the first time we see this. O'Brien apologizes for before and recounts his memories of Setlik 3, the death, the destruction, and how he killed 2 Cardassian soldiers. He'd never killed anything before.
It's not you I hate, Cardassian. I hate what I became. Because of you.
Oh, Worf found this Cardassian guy messing around with the computer on Deck 35, looking up weapons data, which, why would he be down there? Cardassian guy's like, no way, I was playing solitaire, but Macet says, you have no business in their computers, go to your room. And Worf's like, yeah, come on, dude.
We have established communication with Captain Maxwell, and he has agreed to come on board.
Welcome aboard, sir. I'm Commander Riker, First Officer.
This is the first time we see a Nebula-class ship, and that's Captain Maxwell, played by Bob Gunton, and he actually earned a Bronze Star in Vietnam, for real. He recognizes O'Brien right away. Apparently he was Maxwell's tactical officer aboard the Rutledge, and this is where his rank gets weird, so I don't know. Anyway, off to see Picard.
You must think I've gone mad.
What had occurred?
I was grateful when I realized it was you Starfleet had sent after me.
I know of nothing out here that could possibly justify what you have done.
And listen to this.
Captain Maxwell says this science station thing makes no sense. It was in striking distance of 3 Federation sectors. Picard asks why he didn't inform Starfleet. Maxwell's like, not you too, bureaucracy.
Why would a man with a long and brilliant service abandon the fundamental principles that he has believed in, even fought for? I believe it is because of what they did to your wife and your children.
Maxwell's like, no way, but I'm right about the Cardassians. History will judge you a fool. Picard's like, well, yeah, that's fine with me, but right now we're going to a starbase. You can go back to your bridge and follow me, or I can throw you in the brig. It's up to you. So Maxwell says, okay, I'll go back to my ship.
With the Phoenix in close formation, we're proceeding directly to Starbase 211. Mr. Data, how long until we clear Cardassian space?
At our present speed, 3 hours, 20 minutes, sir.
Data says, uh-oh, the Phoenix is kind of doing their own thing. Maxwell isn't answering hails, of course, and it looks like they're going after another Cardassian ship. There's a little Warp 9 race, and here we go. Data says the Cardassian ship is emitting a high-frequency subspace field, which is jamming their sensors, and that's a bit odd.
The Cardassian vessel will not be boarded.
If you don't board that ship, I'll destroy it.
And I will use whatever force is necessary to prevent you from taking that action, Captain.
Red alert, load all weapons. O'Brien says, hey, how about I beam over there and, try to talk him down? Riker points out that the Phoenix's shields are up, and O'Brien says, don't worry about that. I'm Transporter Chief O'Brien. So Picard says, make it so. Maxwell can't understand why Picard would rather point his weapons at him than board the Cardassian ship. This war is all messed up. O'Brien points out, there is no war. Maxwell's like, yes, Cardassians live for war, but that's probably what they think about us.
We do not make surprise attacks on manned outposts. We do not butcher women and children in their homes. Children who never had the chance to grow up.
These two sit and talk about what happened on Setlik 3. Even old Stompy died there. Maxwell brings up that song from earlier, and they start to sing. I wonder how Bob and Colm felt about this.
Oh, all the world betrayed
I'm not gonna win this one, am I, Chief?
No, sir.
Well, that's good enough for Captain Maxwell, and he gives up command of the Phoenix while they head back to Starbase. Gulma says, like, yeah, that Maxwell guy sure is something. Picard says, well, as far as we're concerned, he's a twice-decorated war hero regardless of recent events. Beset says, yeah, okay, I'm just glad he's not out there blowing up Cardassian ships anymore. One more thing before you go. Maxwell was right. You guys are stockpiling weapons using cargo ships with jamming technology. Beset says, oh yeah, well, why didn't you board the ship like Maxwell said? Picard didn't want to board it to protect the peace he believes is so important.
If I had attempted to board that ship, I'm quite certain that you and I would not be having this pleasant conversation. Take this message to your leaders, Gulma said. We'll be watching.
If this story seems familiar, you probably saw Apocalypse Now, which came out about 12 years before this. There were a lot of firsts here. This is the first time we see Cardassians or their ships, Kanar, the Nebula class, though they changed the upper pod thing for the Sutherland. All these things would be much more prominent in Deep Space Nine. Speaking of which, I think this episode really cemented Miles O'Brien and the character he would become. Yeah, he was on many episodes before this, and before he even got a name, but this is the first time the writers created a whole story around him. Gates McFadden doesn't appear in this episode, and besides Season 2, this is the only time that happens. I like this episode because it added a lot of important things to canon. I'm going to go 4 deltas out of 5. You can let me know how you feel about that. If you liked that video, thank you. Hit the buttons, maybe subscribe if you want, maybe make a comment. There's more Star Trek videos and related content on my website. Check it out at kellyplanet.com. I'm Eric Kelly. Live long and prosper.